Hello, this is Cass. Before we get started, I'd like to shout out our top-tier patrons. A big thank you to Nikki, Sean, Ian, Mace, Alan, Penny, Claire, Kit, the Jexberry Guy, Katie, and Sunny. If you would like a shout-out and access to our bonus material, you can find us on patreon.com/dandiesindanger. For a one-time shout-out, you can also support us on ko-fi.com/dandiesindanger. As always, the best way to help us grow is to tell your friends, subscribe, leave a review, or leave a positive rating wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you all so much for listening, and now, on with the show.
Previously on Dandies in Danger.
We are face to face with the genuine face of Lord Howard Bush. Bush is going to cast Small Orb. Dorothea is then hit for 8 damage.
Fuck.
Bush is going to drag himself towards the water of the pool.
So Zachary wants to concentrate everything on pulling Bush into the water.
He goes in. Adrian, it's your turn. You do manage to release the tether from the clock. You've removed an ancient ghost, and once it has been released, Nathaniel gasps for air and stops where he is. Every remaining light in the room is absorbed into the boar demon's eyes, and cradled in her snout is Bush.
So, you have him then.
She opens her mouth, the hands that you saw, Zachary. These multiple arms reach down for Bush's face, grab him, and pull him up into the boar demon's mouth, and she drops him again. There's a skull attached to his neck. He screams, and it transforms into the squeal of a pig, and he disappears.
Would you like to make a deal?
No, thank you. You should be thankful to my other patron. He is whom I serve.
Just remember that loyalty will only get you so far.
She proceeds back into the water, taking with her the blood that had been stolen from her, and so the waters themselves are that same murky white that they had been at the beginning of the night.
Hi, my name is Elijah. My pronouns are he, him, and I play the voice of Zachary Wilkos.
Hello, I'm Cass. My pronouns are she, her, and I voice Liam Bardsley.
Hi, I'm Chess, he, she, they, and I voice Daniel Pritchard.
Hi, I'm Toast, pronoun she, they, and I play Adrian Edwards.
The specter that the party has removed from this cursed family clock descends down to the ground near where Zachary is standing. Everyone can see this specter regardless of whether or not they have a feather or not, but it's as translucent as a whisper. However, it begins to speak. Can you see me?
Zachary nods.
Dost your majesty doubt my devotion? Nay, ye make ample enough use of it. Fool that I am, I give it, since I cannot share that which I desire. Will ye not see me? I have given all myself to you, and yet you will not see me? By the careless regard and the turn of your head and the glazing of your eye, I see that I am bound. A pocket watch dangling on your chain. Yet, will ye not look at me? And if your majesty will not witness myself, will ye not give him back to me? He is mine. Give him back. Give him back, he belongs to me. Nay, there's naught to be done. My life belongs to you. My duty is all that you demand, and all I can give. And yet, I hunger. He looks at Zachary.
Hunger for what?
He flickers.
I see you. Do you see me?
He flickers into existence a little bit more strongly, and his eyes meet yours instead of looking past you.
I said I see you.
You... He sort of furrows his brow a little bit.
You don't need to remain here any longer.
My duty
has been fulfilled.
He looks up at you again. you give him back to me. Mine own self. Belongs to me again.
I would. You gave yourself to the king? In what form?
I was bound. By him or by myself, I know not. I served him. And yet, you would not see me. But you say you do. You say you see me.
I do see you.
Art thou my equal?
I know not. What I do know is that you perhaps should not be in this place anymore. You seem miserable.
He looks around the bathhouse now, and for a moment his eyes rest on Nathaniel, and there seems to be something passing between them for a moment. And then he looks at Adrian, who had pulled him inadvertently from the clock, and he gives you a nod, and then he turns back to Zachary, and a small smile passes over his lips. I thank thee. And with this, he begins to disappear.
Well, rest in peace, I guess. He looks back to Adrian with a slight shrug.
Adrian also shrugs.
He goes over to him.
Oh,
Good
hi.
job, I guess.
Oh,
Whatever
okay.
that was. Did you do that?
Yoinked him out of there?
Oh, you yoinked him.
You didn't see me tugging away.
Everything's a little... He scratches the back of his head. Well, good job.
Thanks. If you'll excuse me for just one moment.
Huh?
Adrian gets up. He goes behind one of the changing stations and he has a little barf. A little private barf to himself. And then he comes back,
Good
wipes
Lord.
his face a little. He's like, right, anyhow. Seems we're done with all that business.
Zachary looks at Nathaniel.
Nathaniel is completely in shock, and until he sort of shakes himself, he puts a hand up to his own chest, and then he looks back towards the waters, which are now swirling a milky white, and then he says, "It is over. I think it's all over now." But then he spots Daniel and Dorothea, who are both still injured. Dorothea fairly gravely so. If he was not already at their side, he approaches them now and kneels down. "My God, the two of you, what? We've got to get you out of here. We'll get you somewhere to rest."
She's badly hurt.
Mr. King,
"Yes."
do you know if your Lord Bush had a stockpile of any healing potions?
"If he had any, they would be in his room." And he pats on his chest and then realizes that he's not wearing his day clothes. And then he says, I'll go to my room. Yes, absolutely. If where shall I meet you? Where will you convene with her? Or are you going to stay here?"
Daniel, can you move much, or shall we keep you in one spot?
My leg doesn't work. I sent an axe through it.
Okay, well, let's wait here. I'm going to find something to stop that blood.
Please, she's not doing well.
I know, he's going to run off and get some potions.
"I'll go with Adrian to find something to bandage the wounds."
I mean, I was just going to grab some towels from here.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. We will do a few rolls here. So Nathaniel is going to go. He's going to find the key to Bush's room, and he's going to be looking for some healing potions. And in the meantime, Adrian, you will be doing your medicine roll with the towels to bandage up Daniel's leg. Dorothea was hit with a spell. And so how would you want to approach treating Dorothea for the time being?
Right now, I'm going to get a towel, I'm going to make it a little pillow and have her lie down.
Okay, so then in terms of making a roll, go ahead and roll me a d20 for Daniel.
I only got a 10.
That's a moderate, which means that you'll be able to give Daniel 1d4 of healing.
Is it plus anything?
Yes, I will say since you've added the towel to staunch the bleeding, you can get a +1 for this as well. So 1d4 +1.
5 in total.
Hey!
Nice.
Wow.
Very
Wow.
good. How's Daniel looking?
18 out of 35.
Excellent.
Please, is there anything that you can do about her?
I don't think there's anything I can do without some sort of magical healing. I don't think a bandage would help. How are you feeling, Miss Crispin?
She blinks her eyes open a little bit, and she sort of shakes her head a little bit. "I feel very warm, and it's very tight on the inside, like constricted. It's a little difficult to breathe."
I say this only as a doctor, so please don't be offended, but we could loosen your clothing a little, get some airflow.
"If you think that would help."
I honestly don't know, but it might.
I'm going to say at this moment, Nathaniel comes bustling back in, and he has with him 4 healing potions. According to what we've established in the past, the healing potions heal 10 damage.
Great. Adrian's he's going to go over to Nathaniel and be like, thank you very much. And he's going to take 2, one for Daniel, one for Dorothea. And then he's going to look at everyone else and be like, all right, gather round. Who's poorly?
After you give her the healing potion, Dorothea, if not fully recovered, looks much better.
How are you feeling, ma'am? Madam? Miss? Sorry.
Greatly recovered. Thank you.
Adrian fans her face a little. So helping.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Thank you. I'm quite all right. Daniel, may I see your leg? Did the healing potion help for you as well?
He pulls his tattered pants up a little bit to look at his leg.
Nathaniel is also crowding next to Dorothea, and both of them are like peering over your leg anxiously.
What's it look like?
What is your HP at right now?
28 out of 35.
Fantastic. So what you've got now is that the healing process has been sped up slightly. It's kind of gruesome to look at. So you've got a lot of like bruising around the puncture marks where the teeth had sunk into your leg and where you had cut yourself. The cut from your own axe is looking a little bit better than the tooth marks where there were punctures. But there's a lot of like really green and bluish bruising around the area, but the bleeding has stopped. So still kind of gross. You might see some oozing in the next few days if you're not careful, but it's definitely greatly improved.
Ew, says Zach.
All 4 of them, Zach, Nathaniel, Dorothea, and Daniel go, ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I recommend staying off that leg for a little while.
I might need a crutch.
Shall I carry you into another room, Daniel? I could carry any of you.
Oh, I'm feeling a little faint myself.
Of course.
Carry Adrian, I suppose.
No,
Liam,
I'm sorry.
Liam is completely unaware that this is
probably do both of
ironic
us.
because he just absolutely turns around and reaches out to just sort of like, he's moving forward with his hands out to pick up Adrian.
Liam, no.
You should
The one whose leg is almost off, please.
Well, he said I should carry Adrian.
Just kneel down,
Adrian
I'll hop
can
on your
walk.
back.
I thought you wanted me to carry Adrian.
Liam, if Adrian told you to walk off a cliff, would you?
I'd
Come
never
here.
do such a thing.
All right, come here, Daniel. So
And you'll have to come here.
That's true.
Liam will kneel down again next to Daniel. We're making a bit of a habit of this.
This is the second time you picked me up.
Isn't it the third?
Is it?
There was the one you fainted first, and then upstairs in the attic the second time around. I believe this is the third time.
And then Zachary goes behind Adrian, nudges him and goes, jealous? And keeps going.
He kicks you in the back of the knee.
Oh, Adrian, maybe you should try fainting more.
He goes quiet with consideration.
So, where would you all like to convene now that we've done a little bit of healing? The rest of the people who were in the bathhouse with you are going to join together. Mr. Keene is actually going to sidle up to Dorothea and speak with her in slightly hushed tones as we move to our next room. The Colonel and Leonard are there, as well as Beatrix.
Adrian's going to quickly make the rounds with everybody else and check that they're okay. Wants to make sure the Colonel hasn't got some sort of heart failure going on.
In terms of outward damage to the Colonel, he seems all right. Mentally, he's putting on a brave face.
Okay. Adrian
But-
fans him in the face as well.
Thank you, young man. That's quite enough. I
Okay.
don't need anything like that.
All right. Well, perhaps Father Underwood would like to tend to you. A wink.
No, I think I will retire to our rooms. Not much needed here.
I don't know. Will you go with him? Keep an eye on him.
Of course, I hope also that we can check in on Miss Campbell as well.
Yes, if you want to go do that now. Or should I go? Adrian looks to his fellows.
No, I know where she is. She's upstairs. But would you keep an eye on the Colonel then?
Oh, all right. Colonel, you're with me.
I don't need to be passed around like some infant. I shall just simply go back to my rooms.
Give me your arm. Come on.
Ooh, okay, so roll me your d20 and we'll do persuasion and I'll check what your connection with him is like.
Should I add influence as well?
Yes.
With my influence, it's already a 20.
And since you are fully allies with the Colonel, you get a +3. So that is a 23 to convince this fellow. you're able to perceive that whenever he's shaking you off, he looks really frustrated, and for a flash, you can see something a little bit more like sadness or despair pass over his face. But whenever you make the offer and continue to insist to bring him along with you, he finally relents and he agrees to join the rest of the party.
Does he actually take Adrian's arm?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
he does. Where would you all like to go?
You want to go to the library?
Yeah, there's chairs in there.
As you are walking back out through the portrait hall, you all notice that Mr. Keene splits away from the rest of the group, and Father Underwood happens to see him walking away, and he gives a sort of nod like he knows what's up.
Adrian follows him. Where are you going?
He's walking to one corner of the room where one of the 4 vases is standing. And he says, very good, come here, I want you to have a look at this. And honestly, actually, Mr. Wilkos, if you wouldn't mind having a look at this before we move from this room.
He walks over. Have a look at what?
He indicates these decorative vases that have been in the 4 corners of the room, and he shows you that they have symbols on them.
Oh, should we smash them?
Relax.
No, for once, Mr. Edwards' rashness may be exactly what is required, but I wanted to get your opinion first, Mr. Wilkos, in case there should be some sort of consequences from destroying this sort of thing. He indicates that each of the 4 vases in this room all have identical designs. They are 4 hands cupping a star on the body of the vase. While the rest of you were occupied in the bathhouse, at the chime of 2 o'clock, these vases changed. They activated with a mysterious light, and across the floor, emanating from these 4 points, each one originating from one of the vases, runes appeared on the floor and were reflected, he points up at the reflective ceiling, were reflected above. And now, this seems significant because after that, I remember nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I can tell that it was important, and I need to know, and he looks at Zachary, I need to know, should we just smash them to pieces, or do we need to take them away somewhere, bury them in the garden type of thing?
I would like to use one of my witness tokens.
With your witness, you're able to determine that this is most likely what was compelling people to come downstairs to the bathhouse, and you suspect that it might have something to do with the sigil that you heard about that appeared in the mirror in the honey room whenever Daniel was having trouble with his sleep. So, whatever was happening on the floor here in this room was being reflected and, for lack of a better word, broadcasted to the other mirrors within the house. Now, in terms of whether or not you can just break it, it feels like the magic within this item right now, it's not as strong as it was before. Bush is gone, the clock has been unwound, there's no more demon here, so you're suspecting that it might still have enough juice in it to be a little bit dangerous, but not enough to be potentially explosive.
If we are to break them, I think we should take them outside and maybe lob some rocks at them, both to let out some steam and to ensure the safety of everybody.
Yes, absolutely. I could take care of this. I could get rid of all of them for you all if you want.
I believe that, Colonel.
Yes, let's break some stuff, Colonel.
Sorry, Nathaniel, if these were heirlooms, they have to be broken.
No, not at all. Those belong to Bush.
Aha! Let's break them, he says and starts. How big are they? Can Zachary just kind of lift one?
I have an idea.
Yeah?
There's a balcony off of that great hall.
Oh, do you want to push it off?
Yes.
Yes!
Fantastic. So, we're going to skip the library. We're literally going to smash cut to everyone standing up on the gallery of the ballroom.
Are we going to go outside?
There's no, and you would be pushing it off into the ballroom.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Sorry, Nathaniel. I'll help clean up.
We'll broom. You've done enough of that. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you mind?
Do I mind what?
The detour.
What does he get? It's Liam that's carrying
Someone
him.
fetch me a cane or something.
Liam, throw above your shoulder again.
Carry me like a bride. It's more dignified.
Oh, is it?
Then over the shoulder, yes. Ass facing forward, yes.
Like a bride it is.
You'll get your chance.
Shut up.
What? It's as plain as day.
I'm going to strangle you.
In fact, I'm very surprised that Liam hasn't caught on. Daniel and I talk about it at times.
Adrian elbows you in the ribs.
Ow!
Enough.
Okay.
So we get up there with our vases, all 4 of them. They're large enough. Actually, who's taking the vases? Zach, you said you wanted to grab one.
I got one.
Give me a d20 roll. I want to know. These are fairly large, so you would more likely have to drag them.
Could the Colonel and I both carry one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have a 9.
You're lagging behind everyone, and you're really huffing and puffing by the time we get up to the balcony. And I'm going to say Beatrix is going to take one. Beatrix is not going to take one. Beatrix is going to tug on it a little bit and be like, oh, no.
So, do we want to knock them off in succession or all at once?
Oh, all at once.
All right, very good. Who would like to do the countdown?
I'll do it.
Daniel,
I
yes.
can't do anything else.
That sounds good. What are we going on? Is it 3, 2, 1, push?
3, 2, 1, let it rip. I don't know.
No, we're just asking if you want to push it on the 1 or the push.
The push.
Okay.
All right, you never know.
All right.
Wait, is everyone ready?
Alrighty.
Who's pushing?
Liam's got one leg propped up against a vase to push it off the side, and I'll say Colonel Gurney is
You
braced
don't
up
need to
against
hold me
another
the
one.
You don't need to hold me the entire time. I assume there are chairs up here.
No,
I just
keep
want you to
holding
feel
him.
involved, Daniel. You are
No, it
part
seems-
of this just as much as the rest
I'm involved.
of us.
I'm counting.
You'll get a better view.
Yeah.
Don't worry, are you scared I'll drop you, Daniel?
A little.
Don't be such a coward, Daniel.
I'm the coward. I was taking on Bush alone for a time.
You tried to lob your own leg off just to get away from a dog.
Exactly. I'm not a coward.
Are we going to push them or what?
All right, 5, 4, 3,
5.
2. All right, I have to. You fucked me up. I need to start
You
over.
hear a shatter as Colonel Gurney
No,
had already
Colonel.
pushed his off the edge.
Go, push.
Pushes.
They'll go.
They shatter, and Zachary, you alone can feel a release of magic that sort of echoes throughout the rest of the house ever so slightly, but nothing catastrophic as you destroy these vases. I'm going to give Liam one of his witness because the entrance to the gallery is on the 2nd floor. He tilts his ear as if he's listening to something, and he says, "Oh, the Quins! I can hear the Quins calling out."
Oh, right, the Queens. I'll be back in a sec. Zachary pops into the shadows in front of everybody. He's no longer shy about it, I guess. He comes out wherever he's closest able to get to the Quins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit funny. I love that Zachary is so keen on this now because the Quinn's room is basically on the door opposite the gallery door. So you've saved yourself probably like 30 seconds by popping into the shadows and coming back out again.
Efficient.
Time is money.
Efficient. Time is money.
Accountant.
Do you pop out of the shadows into their room or do you just unlock it?
He just unlocks it.
Okay.
For goodness sake.
So you unlock the door for them. They ask you if everything's been resolved.
Mm-hmm. It's over. It's all over. It's been taken care of. You're safe now.
Wonderful. And are we safe to sleep here for the rest of the night? I don't know if our carriage will be coming until morning.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We just shoved over a bunch of things that made it relatively dangerous, but they're destroyed now. Pretty sure all the magical elements have been taken care of.
Did the Quints know anything magic was going on?
They know something funky is going on.
Ida pats Nevin on the arm, and she says, "I know you're worried, but you go ahead and have your sleep. I'm used to staying up all hours anyway for my mistress and all that, so I'll keep watch, but you need to get some rest." So, you've resolved things with the Quins. Do you return to the rest of the party?
Yeah, he returns, and he okay, Zachary's very, kind of spaced out right now. A lot has happened, and he's a little bit in shock. And also, he's kind of taken on this, I know what to do sort of role, and people are asking him of things, and it's very late, and he really wants to be fucking unconscious right now. So he's a little, just back towards the wall, sort of blinking and bleary, and, I can't believe this all just happened.
Liam spots this. Actually, I'll use a witness for that to intuit Zachary's emotional state right now. Liam steps in and he says, "Well, we've done now with the vases, so why don't we go down to the library like we had planned before and have a rest down there. From there, we can go out and check on those that need checking on if we want to. But for now, let's get down to the library itself."
Fine idea. Liam,
Yes, Zach.
were you really going to try and attack the boar demon as it was leaving?
It's a demon, isn't it?
And
now it's out there again.
They can't all be bad, can they? That's 2 demons that have helped us.
But it's a demon, Zachary.
I know, but it's just odd, isn't it?
They're made to... exist to deceive. I just don't think anything good can come of a demon that's on the loose again. That might have been the one good thing that Bush ever did, was keeping a demon trapped.
The one good thing. I'm pretty sure you and I just experienced the consequences of him trapping that thing. Am I crazy? The end doesn't justify the means, right? Nothing about what Lord Bush did was good. Never mind, Liam. I'm exhausted and I'm not thinking straight. Let's just get everybody to the library.
Zach!
Huh?
I'm glad you didn't take her deal.
Oh. Well, I'm kind of a short guy, so I don't really know how much of my soul I'm allowed to spread around. Perhaps if I was taller, I'd have more soul. I actually don't know how any of that works.
We get down into the library to convene.
Adrian gets everybody sat down that needs to sit down. Daniel, Dorothea, the Colonel.
Beatrix lounges against a table, leaning up against it. We're all settled in the seating area near the portrait of Tabitha Blythe. Adrian, I'm going to give you a witness. You feel the ring start to itch on your finger again.
Well, he looks at it, and he looks at the portrait, and perhaps he murmurs softly. It's like, do you need anything else?
You hear a voice in your head. Actually, Mr. Edwards.
He blushes.
There's something that you need. It's my thanks. Without you, my daughter, my husband, my brother, they would be trapped here in a house, making them sick.
Is there no way you could return to them?
You're a sweet boy.
Well.
But what I can do now is I'm free to go where I must. Although part of me will always remain here with my family, of course.
Adrian is definitely tearing up. He's like facing away from everyone, and he's got his lip is quivering.
Now, the path that lies before you and your friends is troubling from where I stand. But brace yourself. I can give you this. Adrian, Zachary, Daniel, Liam, and Dorothea. All of them pass out. Adrian, you find yourself in an unfamiliar room, and who you see standing before you is Daniel. You see him clutching his heart with a look of sheer panic on his face as he faints away. A shadowy figure approaches, aiming a pistol and cocking it in one fluid motion.
What?
Hello?
What?
Why?
I do a kick. Can I do anything? Oh no.
Zachary.
Yeah.
You see, in a space that seems large but impossible to determine from where you stand, Adrian is being dragged away by knights of the church. Unresisting, apathetic, tears on his face and blood on his shirt. Daniel, you see Zachary and Liam facing each other in battle, sword against magic. And then everyone awakens. Adrian, Colonel Gurney is the one who is standing over you. He's looking very concerned, and he's fanning your face now. Young man, Mr. Edwards, wake up, sir.
Grandpapa?
Yes, if you like.
Sure.
Are you all right, young man?
I don't know. Where is everyone here still?
Daniel, obviously, Nathaniel is leaning over you as you wake up, and Dorothea is slumped over on the chair next to you. She shakes her head as she wakes up, and she has a look of thoughtfulness on her face. And she looks over to you, Daniel, to see if you also experienced something similar, and then she looks around the room to see who else has experienced this.
He immediately identifies that she must have seen something important as well.
Zachary, Beatrix is poking you in the cheek whenever you finally wake up.
Get off
You
my
alright there?
face.
Yeah, all right. Just worried about a little bit of blood loss, I suppose. Don't mind me.
What happened?
Well, you went fainting away. Liam sits up and shakes his head a little bit, and then he sees that the rest of you also look like you have passed out, and then he looks to Zach and he says, was that some remnant of Bush's magic? I passed out for a moment there.
No, I believe it was Mrs. Blythe.
Mrs. Blythe?
Why would she knock us out?
She said she had something to give us.
That was her.
Apparently.
It wasn't a prophecy, was it?
What?
Adrian shrugs. I don't know.
No, have you all seen something?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you?
I was just knocked out. I didn't see anything.
Adrian squints at him.
You didn't see anything?
Was I supposed to have? Have you all seen a vision? A shared vision?
Well, I don't know if it was the same.
I saw...
Hang on. Adrian, perhaps we should talk about this some other time, since there's other people here.
Yes, Dorothea?
I also saw something.
Liam was the only one that didn't.
Beatrix pipes up. Oh, I didn't say anything. But then again, I didn't pass out. So
Yeah,
all right.
Beatrix, that's why we're not talking to you, dear.
She grins. No one wants to hear my opinion.
Well, why don't you go find something to pocket?
You didn't take anything while we were passed out, did you? Because I have a lucky rabbit's foot I'm very fond of.
Oh, yeah, lucky rabbit's foot. Oh, I can see why you're so worried. High-profile item, that one.
All right, fine.
It's okay, Adrian, she doesn't understand the value of sentimentality.
I am an artist, and I understand the value of sentimentality, Mr. Wilkos.
An artist of what?
I'm a painter.
You're a painter?
I paint!
Oh, Adrian whips his head up. Really?
The DM said this years ago. Towards the beginning.
I travel the world
It's been hours.
painting beautiful subjects. And she winks at
yeah.
Adrian.
Adrian blushes.
Uh-huh. You sure that's not just a cover for the real thing you do?
No, what I do here, under the cover of darkness, that's to support my artist lifestyle. As a matter of fact,
So you really do travel the world?
I do.
Oh, well, I have something to tell you. I'm not Italian.
Really?
No.
Well, Mr. Verdi, colour me shocked. I would never have guessed.
Well,
But speaking of which, though, Mr. King, in recognition of some of the services I have rendered you and your family this evening, namely shooting your tyrant of an employer, I was hoping that you might render unto me some of those old family medallions you've got up in the case upstairs. Eh? The old... from my heirlooms? Whatever could you want those for? Like I said, there's a certain amount of subterfuge that goes into maintaining this artist lifestyle. A few little fibs here and there that have never been hurt with a few props to lend to the veracity of the story. Never you mind. Are you going to give them to me or what? Yes, certainly. I'm
Really?
not-
Nathaniel, those are your families.
He might want a little disconnect from his family at this point.
If not from my family, at least from the family heirlooms. Yes.
they might be cursed, for Christ's sake.
Oh.
Well, I tried to tell that to Miss Chumley before, and it didn't persuade her otherwise, so...
I think I've proven that I can handle myself fairly well in these situations, so I will take those odds. Thank you, Mr. King. And a very good evening to the rest of you. And she stands and she walks over to the door, and she turns around as she's leaning in the doorway. She says, "And just since I like you all so well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. My name is Beatrix Foxwell, and I'm actually American." And she winks, and she walks away.
I don't think I believe that one either, honestly.
I'm going to bed.
Wait, could we all perhaps remain together?
I'm going to bed right there, he says in front of the fireplace. I'm passing out right there.
Okay, let me get you a pillow. Hang on.
A pillow?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Of course, you're not a dog. He gets Zachary a pillow and he fluffs it up so he can have a little nap by the fire.
I feel like the way I tackled that dog, I may as well be.
True. Anyway, Adrian pats him on the head.
Thank. He takes his coat off and he puts it over his face.
Shall we... I wouldn't mind going to fetch blankets for everyone if we're all going to stay here together.
I'll go with you.
Yes.
I don't want anyone wandering alone, even though things have been... It's still dark. We could still fall down the stairs.
And we can go check in on those who are upstairs.
Yes, no need to hurry back, you two.
Shut up.
Daniel's staring at
I will
Liam.
suffocate you under that coat.
Daniel's staring at Liam. You know, like that meme with the crying girl and then her mother is like under the blankets.
Yeah.
He's looking at Liam like the mother. Like based on his vision, he's like, and then as they leave, he says to Zachary, any reason you and Liam would ever be at arms?
Huh?
Any qualms you two have?
Not currently. I'm having some qualms with you and not letting me sleep. Why?
What did you see in your vision?
I don't want to talk about it. He drags the coat off his face. I saw Adrian scared and being dragged away by the church, and he was bloodied. I don't know if he was hurt or if it was somebody else's blood, but he was very scared. I don't know what happened or why.
Maybe these are warnings. Maybe he's getting too flippant with his magic. Maybe we'll be caught.
I don't know, Daniel. It's something I think about every day.
We should strive to be more careful.
Great, we'll start tomorrow. Especially since everybody here has already seen me go through a whole bunch of shadows. Be the magic expert on more than a few things. I can't help but feel like this is going to be my fault. I've inevitably dragged everybody into this already. I'm trying not to panic over it.
We're your friends. We're in it anyway.
And this could be the price of your friendship with me. Do you understand?
I do.
But do they? Do they understand the extent, the real price of friendship with me? And the fact that they've delved into knowledge that could get them arrested and carried away? I don't know if they would know. I don't know if they'd understand. This is gonna sound horrible. But they live a pretty privileged life. What with all the money and not having to work, and whenever anything gets damaged, it gets replaced, and I don't know if you can form consequences in the same way that you and I do.
Well, we've been through a lot together. They've seen some of the consequences.
But I don't know if they've ever understood the reality of losing everything the way I have. Do you remember the church? That man. I wouldn't have just lost, my home and my job and everything. I would have lost my autonomy.
He nods.
Everything. I think about it. But you all still want to be my friend. And I don't want to be alone. But that doesn't mean it's not always under the surface. Right here.
We're in this because we care about you.
I know.
And because something bigger than you, bigger than me, bigger than any of us, is going on. And at this point, I can't just turn away. I need to know what it is, so that we can arm ourselves against it. I can't go back to being ignorant again. We're going to see this through with you. To the end.
I just don't know. Alright. Sorry.
He puts his hand on Zachary's hand. Thank you for trusting me with your feelings.
Yeah. Of course.
Alright, I'll let you sleep now.
Thanks.
Liam and Adrian, meanwhile, are, I assume, just walking up the greater stairs to go fetch blankets. Is there anyone that Adrian wants to check in on?
He's going to want to go check on Emily and her father.
Mm-hmm. Liam points out that they might want to check in on Miss Audley as well to let her know that everything has been resolved.
Well, he says this to Liam, I want to check on everyone. I just mean there's a bit of a priority list.
Right. Very good then. Off to Emily's room.
Yes. Now, I don't know if Adrian's ready to bring anything up. He just sort of... he looks at Liam's broad shoulders walking ahead of him, and he stays quiet.
Whenever you get to Francis's room, where Emily had been sent to stay with her father, he is asleep, but she is curled up next to him. She's still awake, and she sits up whenever we come in.
Adrian's gonna put his finger up in a shush motion, and he's gonna go over to Emily and be like, guess what?
What is it?
You know Lord Bush?
Yeah. Lord Bum?
Mm-hmm. Lord Stinky Bum.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's dead now.
She puts her hands into little tiny fists, and she gets a very intense look in her eyes. She sort of looks down at the bed sheets, and she goes... And the puppets in the room lift, they gravitate just a little bit and start rattling their little hands back and forth whenever she does that. But they don't go quite as high as they did before. And whenever they come back down again, she looks up at them, and she's a little bit breathless, and she says, I feel very tired.
Oh, God, be careful.
I can't. And she looks over at one of the puppets again, and she begins to concentrate, and she says, it feels different than it did before. I don't feel sick quite as much as I did, but I can't move them as much. And she concentrates again, and she...
Well, hold on. Adrian, puts a hand on her forehead to be like, stop it. You're tired out, and unfortunately, I think perhaps Lord Bush might have been amplifying your power in some degree. So now that he's gone, you may have to practice harder. Although, I don't know, don't tell Zachary I told you that.
Zachary's gonna... Mr. Wilkos is going to teach me. He promised.
He did.
All right, well... He wouldn't break his promise. Relax. Probably. Just don't strain yourself right now. Also, you're only allowed to be happy about Lord Bush being dead because he was a menace to your family, but you shouldn't wish that upon regular people, all right? Just so you know.
She gets a thoughtful look in her eye, and she's like, yeah, I mean,
I just don't want you getting carried away with this sort of lust for death and vengeance.
Liam snickers behind his hands behind Adrian. And she says, I'm not evil.
Okay, great.
Bush was evil.
Yes, I know. That's why you get to celebrate his demise. I just don't want you to...
So, evil people, they can die.
Yikes.
Evil people, they can die, but not everyone else.
Perhaps bring the idea to your father, see what he thinks about that. You could continue this conversation with him. I'm just saying. You have a personal right to despise Lord Bush.
A personal right?
Yeah, sure.
Right. She looks really tired now. She looks really exhausted. You can see her small brain is trying to process a great deal of information all at once.
Anyhow, you should probably get to bed. Just wanted to make sure you were all right after all of the kerfuffle. And does Mr. Blythe still look all old and spirally?
He does.
I don't know what to do about that. I know the book said a full restoration might help. I don't know if Adrian read that bit. Adrian will just put that in the back of his mind. He'll tell Nathaniel about it. And then Adrian looks down at the wedding ring on his hand, and he's like, he turns around and tries to wiggle it off his finger to make sure he can actually get it off.
Give me a d20 roll.
Oh, great. I got a nat 1.
Okay, great. So you're standing there with your back to Emily and her dad, and you're pulling on the ring sort of frantically. And since your back is to them, Liam can see what you're doing, and he can see your increasing panic as you continue to try to pull the ring off of your finger. He says, Adrian, let me help you.
We'll have to go get something from the kitchen, I think.
Just calm down.
You're going to rip my finger off if
panicking.
you try.
I'm not gonna rip your finger off. I promise.
Here,
let
Adrian
me try.
Spits on it.
Ew.
Try and lubricate it.
Lord have mercy.
Liam looks like he's leaving his body for a moment, and then he comes back into his body and he says, don't worry, I've got this. And so he's going to attempt to help you.
Can he have advantage because I spit on it?
Yeah.
All right.
With advantage, he got a moderate success. So we're standing there for long enough that Francis Blythe actually wakes up and he sees 2 men standing in the corner of his room, frantically working together to take the ring off of Adrian's finger. And whenever Adrian turns around...
Just tug it.
Yeah.
Harder. No, firmer grasp.
I don't want to hurt you.
We've got to get this off somehow. It's coming. It's almost there.
Oh my god. Have mercy.
Spit on it again.
So, you turn around, and Francis can't move, but he's staring at you.
Adrian turns around and he stops short, and then he turns around again and he fishes out a handkerchief to very, very thoroughly wipe off the ring. And then he faces Francis again and says, Mr. Blythe, we found this in the garden.
You pass over the ring, and Francis's eyes well up immediately. Emily looks concerned for a moment whenever she sees that her father is beginning to cry, but he thanks you and says that if ever he can repay you for what you've done, you need only call.
Just be nice to your child. That's all I would ask of any father.
And so, we leave the room, and I believe our next stop is...
Oddly.
Okay.
Make sure she hasn't keeled over either.
We go into the honey room, which is where we left Mrs. Audley. We are able to check in with her. She is discussing with you, Adrian, the possibility of what's going to happen with the child who is here, because she learned that there was a child here and she's concerned. And she says, if need be, for her services, she could act as a governess if the child needs any help.
I don't live here.
I don't know if you know this. I'm not the dad.
Yeah, Adrian just explains that Nathaniel lives here, Mr. Blythe lives here. She can send correspondence to them.
Excellent. While you are doing that, I'm going to use another one of Liam's witness, because as he is grabbing some of the blankets to bring back downstairs to those who are sleeping in the library, he lifts up one of the blankets that Dorothea had been covered by whenever you guys walked in on her before, and he gestures Adrian over. Come have a look at this.
Comes over.
She has been transcribing, harnessing the power within into her own personal notebook.
That's why it was taking so long.
Ooh, Adrian looks at it and he goes, oh, cheeky.
Should we keep her secret?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
All right.
She seems very capable, more than me. I trust her with that sort of thing. And I already told her about the dangers.
I think she's had first-hand experience with some of the dangers.
All right, then. He taps his nose.
All right.
You're gonna keep that from Zachary.
As you step out, Liam asks you, did you want to stop by to check on Miss Colby?
I'm checking on everyone.
All right.
You don't have to stay.
Of course I'm going to stay with you.
All right, it's very late. I won't understand.
I'm not going to leave you to walk around on the halls at night, alone.
Fair enough. Thanks, actually.
Adrian, as we are exiting and going up to the hallway where Miss Colby would be, I assume, because she's also on this floor, you hear dog nails clicking on the floor.
Adrian grabs Liam's arm and shrieks.
What is it?
A dog, I heard a dog. Pick me up.
Liam grabs you immediately, not to pick you up, but to grab you by the arm to start dragging you immediately towards the closest door.
We got all of them. The last one was Bertie, I thought.
The closest door to you is Mr. Keen's room, which he is obviously not in right now. So we run inside, and Liam slams the door shut behind him and stands with his ears pressed to the door.
Can Adrian be... Sorry. Can Adrian be squished up against his bosom?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely you can. So Liam has his ear pressed to the door, and you can hear his heart is pounding. Now, are you sure you heard something?
I heard dog nails.
Right. And as you're standing there, he is listening very closely, but he holds Adrian even tighter against himself in almost a desperate embrace. And you can feel that he's kind of shaking a little bit as he listens to see if there's anything out there. I thought we had all of them.
I also thought that.
I don't hear anything else out there, but perhaps we should let the others know or stay in here.
Let's just go out, and if we hear it again, run away.
Liam doesn't move.
Adrian takes his face in his hands.
His face is a little wet.
Are you all right?
How can you ask me that, Adrian? I saw you get... I saw what Bush did to you. He stabbed right through you.
Not all the way.
Adrian, I can't say this when the others are around. They already think I baby you too much. But you died tonight, Adrian. How can you say that I'm wrong to be concerned when you died?
Adrian, he also starts getting the shivers because he has not been processing that he died. He's been ignoring that.
Fair.
Well, it was for a noble cause. Does that make you feel any better? Look, I didn't want you in there fighting against that man and killing another person.
He looks up sharply.
I don't want you to go through that again.
I should have acted more decisively. You weren't there for this, but I hesitated Again, he tricked me. He was reaching out like he wanted to talk. I believed him because I believed him because I didn't want to attack another man again like that.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
No, it's not, because you died, Adrian. If I had acted more decisively in the beginning, if I hadn't let him put his hands on me and lay me out again, useless, then I would have been able to actually do something. I could have stopped it. I know where to hurt a man, to kill him and bring him down.
Oh, God.
And if I hadn't been so afraid to do it, if I hadn't been afraid of...
Well, Adrian takes his shirt again and he shakes him. Well, I don't want you fighting and getting hurt either. Deal with it. We're all in it now and we're all at risk, and if you get to put yourself at risk, then so do I. Look, we had that special angel's blessing. I went in there with that knowledge, relatively. I'm not about to go skipping into another encounter that might kill me.
Are you sure, Adrian? Because all tonight, everything I've seen has indicated that you're willing to just throw yourself away into anything.
Doing it for you.
For me?
Yes, all of you. Obviously. Look, I don't want you getting hurt any more than the rest of them, or than you want me getting hurt. And I don't know what else to do to protect you.
You can put a decently lengthed weapon, and he holds his hand out to the length of a sword. You can put a decently lengthed weapon in between you, or you can stand back to where you can...
Well, you didn't like lying on the floor being helpless. I don't like standing at the side being helpless.
Staying alive wouldn't be helpless.
Well, I don't want you to get hurt.
This is... Obviously, I don't want to see you hurt. You don't want to see me hurt.
I think it's inevitable at this point.
That one of us should be...
Yes, that we all might get hurt, and we have to look after the other in the process.
Then...
You can't do all the protecting.
Well, then, won't you let me look after you, then?
Oh, Adrian brushes some hair behind his ear. Well, I was wondering if this will make you feel any better whenever we go back home. I was hoping maybe you could stay for a bit. Would that ease your worries?
He puts a hand up to his throat and kind of worries at his cravat a little bit.
Adrian fans him. Oh, I mean, if it's that...
No, yes. I suppose if you're willing, I wouldn't mind keeping an eye on you, just because, you died and everything.
Yes.
Probably someone who knows what happened should stay and keep an eye on you.
If you could help me come up with a story for Ollie. My clothes are a wreck.
Oh, good lord. Dogs? Dogs.
Well, that's not a lie.
There were dogs.
There were dogs.
We were accosted by dogs.
Yeah.
A lot of dogs.
Yes, considering I did die, I wouldn't mind a little bit of company.
Well, it would be my honor, of course.
Okay.
My pleasure, I mean?
Okay. Well, I would appreciate it. Do you hear anything out in the hall?
I don't. Is it possible you misheard?
I mean, probably. It's very late.
Give me a wisdom roll.
Okay. 10.
You are uncertain.
I'm uncertain.
Then we'll just be on alert.
Here, hold my hand.
All right.
And if something happens, we'll try to run in the same direction.
I like that. I rather like that as a policy going forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Neither of us wants the other to get hurt, so next time, hold hands, run in the same direction. So how do you approach?
Virginia Colby's room?
Mm-hmm. Do you knock?
Yeah. I walk up and I knock.
Come in.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Adrian creaks open the door and he only peeks in. He's like, hello, I just wanted to... It seems to be over, so I was just checking in.
She's sitting at the vanity with her head resting in both of her hands, and her beautiful elaborate hairstyle, which you had seen earlier in the evening, has unraveled in some places and is hanging around her face. On the desk in front of her, you can see that the intricate necklace that you had seen before is lying there. And she hardly looks up at you, but she says, well, I had assumed as much. Mr. Flynn has retired to his rooms.
Back to his usual self, then?
Yes.
Well, I know we were trying to return everyone's souls to their bodies, but could have lived without his.
She looks up suddenly and squints at you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't explain that earlier, did I? It's very complicated. Lord Bush was a mad sorcerer, stealing souls to do evil magics. This is real.
Liam is standing behind you and just sort of solemnly nodding his head to provide his support. Mm-hmm. And she looks at Liam and then she looks at you and she says, I would say that you're mocking me, but for some reason...
I wouldn't do that again. After how badly you've made fun of me in the past.
Oh, forgive me for that, of course. I know how delicate the egos of magnificent men can be.
That's an even greater insult, if you ask me.
So something overcame Mr. Flynn, that much I'm certain of, and it's ruined everything. But what are we to do now but carry on?
Well, you've got that necklace you were looking for.
This? Do you think this means anything now?
You thought it did. What does it matter? What's the difference?
Well, because now he's been shot, hasn't he? And now Flynn looks like the victim. If I take this to his wife as the proof that she was asking for, then he'll only elicit more sympathy. He'll look like he was burgled. I thought I had finally... Everything that I've gone through with that man has come to naught.
I mean, at least he got shot. That's got to be a little satisfying.
She brushes some of the hair away from her face. I can tell Kitty that, at least.
Do I know Kitty?
Yeah,
Oh.
Kitty was the leading lady around the time that you were hanging out with the acting troupe.
Mm-hmm. What does Miss Hewitt have to do with all of this?
Everything. Not that you ever bothered to learn much more than what Tristan made you learn, but Kitty and I are good friends. And Mr. Flynn, well, I was not his first actress dalliance. And she's with child. And I wanted... She looks frustrated again and just waves her hand at you. You wouldn't understand. Men of your standing don't really care about this kind of thing. It's very easy to just brush off people like us, isn't it? Liam looks incredibly uncomfortable, and he's looking at Adrian, and he's like, should I step out into the hallway while you have this conversation?
I don't care. You can stand wherever you like, Liam. Miss Colby, would you prefer he retreats?
No, I don't mind if he knows what sort of man you are.
He knows.
Liam is looking like there's a few things that maybe he does not know.
Adrian turns, he puts a hand on Liam's arm. I haven't impregnated anyone.
He sort of nods his head. A little bit of relief. But then Miss Colby rises. I thought for once there might be some justice in the world. A little bit of comeuppance for someone who thinks he can get away with whatever he wants, with whomever's heart that he wants. I tried to bring it up with his wife before, but she wanted proof before she made any decisions, and now I have this. I have the necklace, but it's useless.
Adrian is frowning, and he nods. It does seem quite complicated. I would offer some sort of solution if I could, but I don't know the man, personally or socially. I don't know. I can only think to shoot him again.
Well, we could always kill him.
She does laugh a little bit whenever you say that. Well, I certainly don't think I can tolerate the ruse anymore.
Astounding that you could put up with him for more than an evening at all.
You have no idea. But I'm an actress.
I don't know, is there anything I could possibly offer to do for you?
She taps her chin and she says, well, what would you find most humiliating?
Oh, no. Do you mean as a person of my station, or me personally?
As a person of your station.
Well, actually, my own sort of existence I'm carrying on now is perhaps the most humiliating. A failed heir, dodging his inheritance, so to speak.
Well, I suppose that's not of much help.
I'm sorry.
At the very least, I suppose I could sell off the necklace.
Does he like his mother?
He doesn't speak of her much.
Oh, I thought perhaps you could tattle on him.
She gets a new look in her eyes. Well, now that you mention it, he may not have spoken of his own mother, but his mother-in-law is not very fond of him.
Well, there you go.
and his wife's family is the one who holds most of the money. So perhaps I need simply hold on to the necklace for a while.
Sure.
Now that I have it, there's no reason why I couldn't wait a little longer and take it to his mother-in-law, and she would certainly have something to say.
Well, there you go. And how would he explain that you have such a thing?
She gives you another appraising look. Is it really just all on a whim, everything that you do?
No, it usually takes many hours of anguishing.
Oh, well, I'm very glad that you set aside a few hours of anguish.
Every day.
She rolls her eyes. I'm sure it's very difficult for you. But I appreciate your perspective. And she picks up the necklace again and tucks it away into her bag. With this, we might be able to, Kitty and I, have a little bit of peace of mind. And I also recognize that you did come to the door when you heard him trying to gain entry.
Yes, I wouldn't wish that man's presence on anyone.
Well, thank you for that as well.
Adrian shrugs. I don't think he feels like he can say you're welcome. If it's worth anything, and then Adrian does look sideways at Liam nervously, but back to Virginia. If it's worth anything, Mr. Ashley wasn't a whim.
I find that hard to believe after how you left him.
I agree. I understand from an outside perspective it would seem rather sudden and cruel and heartless.
She nods her head with each word.
I was, as I'm sure you won't be surprised, too preoccupied with my own emotions, and I let them take center stage, as you will. And so I was an ass.
I'm impressed to hear you say it.
I say it quite often.
He does.
Says Daniel, poking his head in.
He's just walking down the hallway casually.
He does.
Her gaze glances over to Liam, and then back to you. I hope the awareness of the fact accounts for something more than self-flagellation. Good evening, Mr. Edwards.
Good evening. Good evening. He backs out, closes the door, again glances at Liam, but doesn't really say anything. It's like, well, she seems to be in fine health. I suppose we ought to check on Mr. Flynn.
Yes.
I think this confirmed for Liam that Adrian likes men, though.
Yeah. Liam is just sort of like, he's nodding his head, and he's like, yeah, right, we'll see Mr. Flynn, check on his foot.
Liam's like, yes, yes.
Adrian is feeling very embarrassed and hot under the collar.
I'm glad we were able to help her. Well, mostly you. I didn't say anything.
Yes, I'm glad I could do her some sort of favor in our somewhat fraught relationship.
Oh, fraught, yes.
Yeah, couldn't you tell?
Oh, well, there was a bit of tension there. Just a smidge. Just a smidge.
Adrian just stares at him. Anyway, just go check on this terrible man.
All right. He is in his rooms.
I mean, I have to check that his foot hasn't, gone septic or something.
Yeah, okay. You go in, you check on it. This doesn't have to be a character interaction, but
Okay.
You do glean from his behavior that he wants to press charges against Colonel Marshall Gurney and Beatrix Chumley.
What a little bitch.
Oh, by all means, bring the name Beatrix Chumley to court. Certainly.
But you really don't want to bother with Colonel Gurney.
He's an old man, troubled with wind.
Troubled with wind?
Go ahead, roll me your d20, add influence.
Okay.
Liam will also do a roll for this to add influence, since we're both trying to convince him to just forget about Colonel Gurney, because it was late.
He's an old man. Fuck. I got another natural one.
Oh no.
Rip.
Liam only got a moderate success, and so you get the idea that you ought to warn Colonel Gurney that there might be legal action following after this.
Okay.
You were unsuccessful in convincing Edwin Flynn that the colonel was not involved. He said, no, he pistol whipped me across the head. All right. We're also able to check on the staff who are upstairs. They are no longer sitting up in their beds upright, sleeplessly. Molly comes down with us to reunite with Leonard as well. So the two of them are reunited. Liam also stops by to speak with Rosamond and to make sure that she's feeling all right. She is shaken and is considering going back to her family to potentially go through with the wedding or see what consequences they have in mind for her. After your conversation with Rosamond, Adrian, you notice that Liam looks subdued and downhearted.
Perhaps it won't be so bad. Maybe she can get out of it somehow. We've avoided it long enough.
Well,
wait, Adrian runs back to Rosamond's room and says, Miss Osmond, perhaps you should tell your family you need to go to the seaside for your nerves, and that a doctor said so. You can't get married with nerves.
You should write her a doctor's note.
Yeah, hang on. Do you have paper? Paper and pen?
She looks bewildered and she sort of nods her head. They'd probably have to send me with a chaperone, but if you were to write a note...
Yes, I'll write a note. I'm sure you could find some sort of lovely governess or something to look after you.
Liam pops his head in and he sees what Adrian is doing, and a little spark of light comes back into his eyes as he sees what Adrian is trying to do for her.
He writes her a doctor's note, and he's like, maybe see if you can find some sort of fancy seal to put on this. I don't have mine.
Excellent. And so, is there any other character interactions that anybody would like with any of the guests before we leave?
Adrian wanted to check in with Mr. Keene. I know you're sort of more in the business of ghosties and ghoulies with your paper, yes?
That is the purpose of it, yes.
Would you still benefit from a connection with my family? I know you might not have the greatest opinion, but perhaps if you had a connection to our paper...
Pardon me, Mr. Edwards, if this is presumptuous, but is this an official proposition to collaborate with the London Compass?
Well, I thought I might introduce you to my brother. He's a bit more outgoing than me.
That's hard to imagine, Mr. Edwards.
Imagine it if you can.
I shall try.
He's an eager young fellow, and he doesn't know about ghosts and things, but he's got a better connection to the paper than I do at this point.
I would never turn down an opportunity to meet your brother, Mr. Edwards. I would be most grateful, in fact. Perhaps we could collaborate, after all.
All right.
Thank you.
Very good. He holds his hand out for a handshake.
Mr. Keene takes it, and he shakes it warmly. The morning afterwards, as everyone emerges from Holloway Manor, you can see that the storm of the previous night has flattened some of the trees and the bushes and flowers and everything. A great deal of mud has been churned up by carriages arriving and following the roundabout past the front of the building. Some of the erstwhile staff of Holloway Manor are being escorted home. Mr. Keene is speaking with a few of them, and they've all been sharing their accounts, and he's carefully taking notes of this, before eventually he himself makes his departure in one of the carriages. Dorothea is standing at the top steps of the manor, awaiting her carriage. She has her bags at her side and her lion's head cane in the other hand. And whenever she sees you, Daniel, she makes tracks. She heads over to you very quickly.
He also kind of rushes to her, like a giddy schoolboy of sorts, but he feels like they've kind of reached a certain point of intimacy now, having held each other's lives in their hands. So he goes to greet her, and they probably stop before touching each other, and they just kind of stand there awkwardly for a moment.
Well, I will certainly have a lot to add to my well of experience for writing about heroic events. But, here, I ought to return this to you. And she hands you Lord Bush's copy of The Power Within. I think I've had enough of some of these heroic events for the time being.
You sure you don't want a bit more?
Are you offering a few more adventures, Mr. Pritchard?
Hopefully not. None that are unsatisfactory, anyway. But I would not be opposed to going on more pleasant adventures with you if in the future, if you cared to join me. He starts blushing.
She's got her walking stick in one hand and she's kind of like tapping it on the ground, but her face is very calm and she says, well, if you wish to call on me, I could certainly leave the address of my family's business. We own a soaps and perfumery shop. That's where I work. If you wanted to stop in, I'm sure I would be quite pleased to get to know you in different circumstances, perhaps.
That would be nice, I think.
So she takes, and she kind of like looks around a little bit, and then she takes the back of Bush's copy of The Power Within, and she writes her address, or the address for her family business, on the back.
He sees her pull out a writing instrument and just falls a little more head over heels for her, seeing how much they have in common. And his heart goes pitter-patter as she writes, "You were incredible. Under pressure."
Thank you, Mr. Pritchard. I was very impressed with your bravery as well. I thought that men such as you really did only exist in fiction.
He blushes so fucking hard. he's quite red, and he's holding the book to him almost like a child would hold a stuffed animal or something. He's almost like using it as armor or cradling it now that it has her address in it, and he stammers a bit. He's like, thank you.
Is your leg all right?
It will be, eventually. Might be a while before I can run on it. You're not... He kind of motions on his own body where she was struck with Bush's spells.
She puts a hand to her chest and says, "There was a great deal of tightness there last night, but it feels more open this morning. Only my heart might be going a little bit fast, but is that natural for side effects from magic like that?"
He can't stop a smile from moving up his cheek, and he kind of like puts his eyes to the ground and he tries to think of how to respond to that. Then he finally lands on, "Well, I wouldn't know, but if you need a doctor who is well-versed in... somewhat versed in magic, I happen to be friends with him."
I shall keep that in mind. And she sort of looks and she sees that her carriage is on its way now. It's coming up the drive. And her face falls just a little bit.
He looks to where she was looking to. "Your ride is here, I guess."
I suppose it is. I really ought not keep my parents and my sisters waiting. I wonder what I'll tell them.
He shrugs. "Whatever you feel comfortable telling them, I suppose. Magic is becoming more well-known these days."
She looks at you sharply and she says, "What do you think of that?"
I don't know. I think with any sort of change in society, you must take the good with the bad.
I think, rather than taking, I think it's our duty to add to the sum of good.
He nods. We're trying.
I'm glad we're in accord. Will you escort me to my carriage, Mr. Pritchard?
Certainly. His body language had sort of like snapped into, all right, that's my role. Okay. I was born for this.
So you walk down the steps and through the mud, and she rises up into her carriage.
I think Daniel wanted to throw his coat on the ground for her, like you would for a queen, just but he's holding a book in his hand, so it's like awkward, so he shifts a little, and then he realizes, also, I don't want to get my coat dirty, and I can't really afford like dry cleaning. So he just like shifts for a moment and then like doesn't do anything, and then as she's approaching and the stairs come down for the carriage, he offers his hand to her to help her onto the stairs.
She takes it.
He tenderly holds it, and he cherishes the warmth of her hand and helps her, supports her into the carriage.
Before she lets go of your hand, she gives just the slightest squeeze of pressure before she takes her seat.
If he could blush harder, he's blushing harder. I'll see you soon, I hope.
I should hope so. And safe travels to yourself getting home.
Thank you. And to you.
And to you. Oh, yes. Goodbye.
Yes. He makes to close the door. And he shuts it, and it shuts a little louder than he was anticipating, and then he sweats, and then he steps aside so that they can go.
As it pulls away, there's a brief moment where you see where she turns her head out the window to take one last look at you and at Holloway Manor before she disappears around the tree line.
He smiles and nods at her. As she fades into the distance and he can't see her anymore, or she has turned away and he's sure she's not going to turn back, he turns around, still holding the book, and looks to Holloway Manor.
When you turn around, you find most of the guests have left, except Nathaniel is escorting Eleanor Audley into her carriage, just as you had been escorting Dorothea, although the atmosphere is much different. She, you can tell from a distance, is speaking very fervently about something, and you can hear like the phrase Emily and schooling and upbringing, all of these sort of words that Miss Audley is saying to Nathaniel. And he does look genuinely interested, and he's nodding his head. He is very agreeable, and he actually looks very different than how you've seen him at any point leading up to this moment. There's a greater vivacity within his body as he communicates with Miss Audley. And then once he has helped her into her carriage, and the carriage naturally passes by you, Daniel, his gaze lands on you.
Daniel approaches him.
Mr. Pritchard, I'm very pleased to see you doing all right. Is your leg well?
It will be.
He holds out one hand to shake. I cannot begin to thank you enough for what you and your friends have done. For my family and myself. From the very bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Daniel puts his hand in Nathaniel's and shakes it, and he holds it with a little more energy than you would. It's a little informal. And he lets go. He looks him up and down and he says, how are you feeling after the, after your, I suppose you're free. Are you?
In some ways, freer than I've ever been in my life, that's for sure. There's still certain things to arrange, but... Are you waiting for a carriage? Do you mind if we step inside briefly?
We can step inside.
Come, let's step away. They progress inside. They step into not the parlor, but the room where you had visited earlier, where you had found Nevin and Ida with the fireplace. It seems like this is the family room. This is not usually where guests are entertained. This is where they feel most comfortable. And so he takes you in there, and he says, It's strange, if after having felt one way for my whole life, I suppose, I feel like a great weight has been lifted from my mind, and a smile quirks the corner of his lips. It's like I can think of the future for the very first time. Before, the future had never even existed for me. Is that strange?
No, given your situation, I don't think that's strange at all.
It felt like I'd never had any time at all, and now I've got a great deal of it, and yet I am preoccupied with a few things. There are certain things I can take advantage of, being the former Lord Bush's secretary. Certain assurances that I can make for my family before everyone knows that he's gone. But I will have to leave this place.
I suppose you can now.
You've travelled, haven't you, Mr. Pritchard?
Yes.
I should dearly like to do so one day. I don't know if I can, as of yet, with Francis and Emily. Perhaps someday.
I hope that for you.
Do you recommend Italy, perhaps? Mr. Verdi?
As you've probably suspected, I've never been to Italy, nor am I Italian.
My God, man! Not Italian. Nathaniel is smiling.
I apologize for the alias. In these sorts of paranormal situations, sometimes it can be dangerous to reveal your own name. I didn't know what we were stepping into, so I thought it best to be careful.
Well, I certainly was not as forthcoming as I would have liked to be throughout the evening. And, speaking of the evening last night, I hope I haven't... Well...
Daniel thinks about the kiss that he planted on his cheek.
It was, the evening was a very emotionally charged one.
Do you regret anything?
I regret a great deal of things from my whole life, but there are some things I might not regret, he says, looking at you very carefully.
I don't know what to say. Because Daniel likes him, but I think Daniel's gonna go for Dorothea, so he doesn't want to lead him on, but he's also kind of flirting with him. Stop it, Daniel!
You can have more than one romantic partner.
Daniel doesn't, as far as I know, Daniel's not polyamorous.
Oh, shame.
We could discover something later, but he hasn't discussed it with Dorothea yet, so...
Fair.
Might not work. She might not be into him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel nods and he says, a man of mysteries who will not use specifics.
I do like the sound of that. A man of mysteries. Maybe that's who I am.
Maybe it is.
Going forward, I shall travel the world. I shall be a man of mysteries.
Well, I wish that for you.
In any case, will you also extend my gratitude to your friends for their help?
Yes, certainly.
I shall be very hard to contact, I think, for the next several months.
Won't you be here?
Not in person. Not me or my family. I've heard enough about the church to know that I don't want to stay here for a second longer than necessary. I shall get Francis arranged for and Emily, but he starts looking around. Got something to write on here. But if you wanted to contact me, if there's anything I can ever do to repay you for what you've done, you can reach me at Lord Bush's offices. To leave a note there, that is. I shall be operating from there in secret for the time being in order to make certain arrangements. So he's looking around for something to write on.
He opens the front of the book for him, carefully making sure he doesn't see the back.
He writes HAGS.
Have a great summer.
He writes the address for Bush's offices, the sort of secretarial offices, and says, this is where I've been working from since the fire, I suppose. So, yes, you can write there, and if you or your friends need anything from me, I shall be happy to do whatever is within my power to pay you back for the service you've done me and my family.
How about if you receive a note from someone called V? You'll know it's me.
He blushes this time. I shall keep out an eye. Yes, from V.
Because Verdi.
Yes, from Verdi.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
I hope you will be safe wherever you're going, you and your family.
a fair sight safer than we have been, I think.
Pretty low bar, but...
Nathaniel sort of pulls his hand closer to him, the one that he still has within the glove. Yes, quite so.
I think he wants to squeeze him on the shoulder or something. He cares him. He wants romance with Dorothea, but he does care Nathaniel a lot.
Okay. Having written the address, Nathaniel escorts you back to the front of Holloway Manor.
As they're parting, Daniel puts a hand on Nathaniel's arm and kind of squeezes it a little bit and says, "To brighter days in the future."
Cheers to that. Go ahead and roll me a d20.
Do I add anything?
Influence.
16.
He smiles and nods as you depart, and as you walk down the stairs to your carriage, you do not hear the very small sigh that escapes him as you walk away. But he nods his head and walks back inside his ancestral family home. The next day. Interior, Zach and Daniel's house. Daniel, where would you be lounging, recovering, resting yourself?
He's probably in his bed, in his room.
On your bedside, you have coiled there a little yellow ribbon that you found in your pocket from the previous night.
It's Dorothea's token.
Mm-hmm. How would you be recuperating yourself?
He's having tea, and he's lying in bed and trying not to get up too much. He has probably some papers around him. He's writing down what happened for his memoir with Zachary. He's skewing some of the details just to protect their identities and pretend it's fictional.
As you're sitting there drinking, possibly ruminating about Dorothea and Nathaniel and all of the events from the previous night, Zachary comes in with a newspaper. Now this is the morning maybe 2 or 3 days following the events that transpired. But Zachary, you found a copy of The Falcon. The headline reads, "Missing Persons Rescued from Horrific Hot Spring," by Editor-in-Chief Bentley Keene. It reads, "In the weeks following the flight of the Slua, many Londoners have found comfort in the protections promised by the Church of Eternal Knighthood. After all, the institution has demonstrated a capacity for collecting and mobilizing agents, supplies, and information with an efficiency that almost beggars belief. The citizens of this vast and changing city could not be blamed for relinquishing their fear and curiosity into the hands of such a capable organization. After all, ghouls and beasts are notorious for disrupting sleep, and yet one must still rise and attend his work each morning. Yet, it is the firm belief of this author that the best means of protecting the public in any lasting way is to provide an education on the matter. That which we fear in the shadows must be subjected to the light of understanding if we hope to live as masters of our own fate. Indeed, the following report details the author's own experience of a harrowing misuse of magic in which the concerted efforts of a few common men and women, armed with sufficient knowledge of the arcane arts, were able to frustrate the machinations of a tyrant sorcerer.
You better not have put my name in there.
Daniel sweats a little.
It is the author's intent not to stir anxieties about unknown dangers, but to provide a tangible guide by which the common man or woman may stay informed and alert. To summarize, you guys are able to flip through the story. He describes the bespelled invitations and advises the public to beware of any document bearing the phrase legite et credite on the first page. He describes the use of mirrors to spy on the occupants and suggests that readers ought to cover mirrors to protect their privacy in an unfamiliar environment. Also, the taxidermy hounds and the discovery of the death of John Blake. He describes the sleeping enchantment, as well as the purpose of the trap, for Bush to use the very spirits of those around him, as one might use coal and cloth and steel to empower and protect only himself. Keane doesn't use Bush's name or anyone else's, but he does describe how a small party of individuals arrived to investigate in much the same way that he himself was investigating. He gives the broad strokes of Bush's deal with the demon, and says, "For those with ambitious minds contemplating their own Faustian bargains, the infamous mastermind was slaughtered by his own ambition. One bystander who was present for his demise put it most succinctly. Disgusting. Worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life." Death by demon is a grisly price that even the cruelest man or woman would come to regret. He continues to say, between those with some understanding of magic and those with other valuable life skills, the innocent lives of those present, as well as innumerable others who might have been preyed upon, were saved. At the climax of the fight, Keane describes how he himself fell under the compulsion of dark magics. Plagued by doubt in his own mission to bring knowledge to the public, his resolve drained in service of another. Once returned to his senses, he felt his conviction returned more strongly than ever, along with a new understanding of the new world facing London. Our success depended on conversation. If we strangers had not overcome our suspicions of one another, we would have remained divided and had been picked off, one by one. The author does not doubt that these passages will engender skepticism in some, trepidation in others, but he remains hopeful that the resolution of the terrible events, the bravery and cooperation of common folk, will serve as a beacon for others who may ever find themselves in danger.
Well, no mention of our names, but I think we should destroy that ledger. You wrote your real name in that, if I recall.
I did.
Is that correct?
Yes. Damn fool, he shouldn't have written about this at all.
Well, that's what he does. In fact, we should probably be getting our hands on more copies of the Falcon, since they seem to know what's really going on.
It's like no matter what I do, I'm just one step closer to the church being on my front door. Did he say where all this took place? He didn't mention Nathaniel's name or anything.
Holloway Manor is unnamed, Bush is unnamed, all of the involved participants are unnamed, except John Blake is named as one who had died, and the names of the people who were missing, some of those have been released.
He doesn't understand. He has no idea. The church. They'd question him. This is unsanctioned.
The Falcon could be in trouble.
Keane could be in trouble. Keane could be locked away for this. Look, I know it seems crazy, but the church doesn't like anything going on without them knowing.
I don't think that sounds crazy.
Even if somebody's saved, or helped save, or reported on, or took part in, they don't like anything going on without them knowing.
As Daniel and Zachary contemplate how best to contain the ever-unwinding threads between the events of Holloway Manor and the eyes of the church, copies of the Falcon wing their way through the streets, dismissed by most, but for those with a sharp eye, familiar with the arcane, an eye yellowed and darkened with experience, the story does not go unnoticed.
Liked what you heard? Let us know by using hashtag #DandiesInDanger over on our Twitter, Insta, Tumblr, and TikTok in the listed links below. We'd love to hear any and all comments, questions, and theories as to where the story might be headed. Want to support us and our lads' adventures more directly? Then please consider clicking on the link and becoming a patron today. For just $1, you can gain access to our longer, uncensored outtakes and blooper reels. For $5, you can have access to exclusive stickers, in-world letters written by and for the lads, Poetry by Adrian and Daniel, and original music from the show composed and scored by Chess Albanese. Can't afford to support directly? No problem. Podcasts survive by word of mouth, so if you like what you heard, tell your friends, family, and local graveyard ghosts all about these exciting tales. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Dandies in Danger is written and voiced by Elijah Bergateres as Zachary Wilkos. Cass is Liam Bardsley. Chess Albanese as Daniel Pritchard, and Toast as Adrian Edwards. It is edited by Toast. Original score and music composed by Chess Albanese. It is produced by Dandies team, and made possible by listeners like you.